Welcome back to another Conductor Sunday live stream. I'm your host, Theme Park Conductor, and tonight we got several topics we're going to talk about. One of them is going to be Bob Iger and Josh tomorrow's interview with David Muir on ABC World News Tonight. We also got a video we're going to break down with one of our special guests. He's a really good follower and an awesome guy, and I cannot wait to get his perspective on a video from David from Fresh Baked. We got some other information we're going to talk about as well, but you know, let's just cut the intro and let's get started with these amazing guests. So we're going to add our first guest on the show. We got Ryan, the Disney adult. He has never been on the show before, so everyone show him some love and say hi to him in the chat. Ryan, it's good to see you. Where
up?
Everyone find you on social media?
Mostly on my Instagram. Hold on. At RC Tribe Fan 4 and YouTube at Ryan the Disney Adult.
All right, perfect. Well, Ryan, thank you for joining tonight. Again, it's your first time, and I cannot wait to get your perspective on this reaction video we're going to react to. And then we got the one and only Orange Grove 55 with that wild, wicked hair that I love so much. How you doing tonight, and where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on, Conductor. It's great to be on here with Ryan, first time. I love doing this tonight because we are kind of like the nerdy counter programming to the Super Bowl. You don't like football, you can come here and check out Conductor. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty Tiny Snack, what's going on? But big shout out to Tiny Snack. But yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking theme park studio, all that good stuff. And you can find me on Instagram, Orange Grove 55, and on X, Orange Grove 55. And I did see Bad Bunny tonight, some of it at least, and it was good. It was really, really good. Now I'm more of a Kendrick Lamar guy, so last year's was more my cup of tea. But Bad Bunny, I respect him. He does a lot of great stuff. So he did great tonight. Did you guys check that out? The Bad Bunny stuff?
Yeah,
I did, and I thought it was well done. Again, you know, I respect him as an artist, and I'm glad he did the Super Bowl to get his name further out there, you know, in the world. And I totally respect that, and I love it. But I agree with you, OG. Kendrick Lamar is my man right there. His Super Bowl last year.
Oh man, that was legendary. Legendary, bro. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. But I just want to say hi to a few folks before we get started. We got Felicia in the house. We got David in the house. Always good to see David. And like OG mentioned, we got Tiny Snacks in the house. We got John. We got Francisco. We got the Rogue Attraction in the house. Always great to see everybody here. And we got the one and only Mr. Seymour Duck in the house. Always great to see Seymour.
Yeah,
I really like when you and him do videos together, especially on the corporate side of the company. So it's awesome content to watch.
I appreciate that, Conductor. And Seymour Duck is an absolute rock star. I mean, this guy, for those of you at home that are not familiar with him, he is part of the OG55 family. We do a lot of content together. He has a show on my channel called The Duck Palm. We talk about anime, K-pop, financial stuff, but he knows a lot about, like, there's a ton of subjects, like whether it be investing, whether it be Japanese culture, all kinds of stuff. So Seymour is your guy. Check him out on X. Give him a follow. And if you have some time, check him out on my channel too. Him and I are always doing videos together. So really good dude, close friend of mine. Love Mr. Seymour Duck.
Absolutely. So, gentlemen, this is how it's going to go down. OG, you already know the drill, but Ryan, since it's your first time, basically what we're going to do with this video and the reaction video is, at any point, if you want me to pause it, you want to, talk about some, just let me know. I'll pause it and we'll break it down. Okay.
Let's do it.
Here we go, gentlemen.
There is news tonight involving our parent company, Disney. The new CEO has been chosen by the Disney board. Josh D'Amaro will succeed Bob Iger on March 18th after Bob's nearly 20 years as CEO. Tonight, our interview here with Bob Iger and Josh D'Amaro on artificial intelligence, the new Disney theme park, streaming Disney Plus, and about Walt Disney's original dream of bringing joy and connection to American life. Gentlemen, thank you for doing this, for sitting down with me. I guess I have to say congratulations to you both.
That would be appropriate.
Yeah, an incredible tenure and a new chapter begins. I was thinking about people watching at home and thought I would ask
real quick, Conductor,
first, because I think everybody.
I've said this on my channel, but it bears repeating. I love the fact that they're matching. Like
They are.
they're all wearing the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So fantastic synergy. I love that. I'm sure, you know, D'Amaro probably called up Murr and Iger the night before, like, hey, are we still doing it, guys? And they're like, yeah, we're still doing it. All right, cool. We're in.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. They are wearing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They concluded with each other.
Everybody has, you know, a Disney childhood memory, a favorite Disney movie, a favorite Disney character through the years, a trip to Disney World or Disneyland. But people at home also see how quickly things are changing. Technology, society, people with their phones, the competition for our attention. And I'm curious, Bob, what you think the next CEO has to do and soon to make sure that these childhood Disney memories are still a part of American life for years going forward.
Well, I think you touch upon something that is critical in terms of what the next CEO appreciates and what the next CEO is capable of doing. And that is truly, truly appreciating Disney's position in the world and to people. Disney's not just another company. Disney really is a cultural institution that has touched hundreds of millions of people for now over 100 years. And having that appreciation,
real quick, Conductor,
place Disney occupies.
Go ahead.
And Iger's absolutely right on that. And a lot of people wonder, why does Disney get so much crap, right? Whether it be from conservatives, progressives. It seems like Disney's always in the middle of all these battles, right?
Yeah.
What Iger just said is exactly the reason why. Disney is not a regular company. Disney is a cultural machine. It influences culture, you know? And Netflix actually is coming up and being that as well. They are. Netflix is coming up to be a mover of culture as well. But Disney has been this way for a really long time. And that's why you see these political parties fighting over Disney and their content and what have you, because it does make an impact. It is a huge influence on our society. It has been for a very, very long time. The Disney thing is kind of woven in to America, to modern American life. The boomers grew up with it. Gen X, the millennials, and now the younger generations like Gen Z as well, and Alpha. It's been passed on for years, and it just makes a big impact. And what he said is very true. You can't underestimate the power of the Walt Disney Company. It is a massive, massive juggernaut. And that's why I've always said too, real quick, it's going to be very difficult for Universal to sort of overcome them and be number one. Now, Universal doesn't have to be number one to be successful. Like, they can still be number two and still crush it. I just think it's going to be a huge hurdle for them to ever surpass Disney, not because Universal doesn't make great product. They absolutely do, but they don't have that cultural impact yet, at least, that Disney has. Disney has that generational thing. That's really hard to kind of overcompensate. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
all of that is really, it's tough. But anyway, just want to kind of put that out there, because the cultural impact of Disney cannot be understated.
No, it can't. And before I play the video anymore, we have Alicia with the $1.99 super chat. Well, that was a clever Mando and Grogu big game spot. She's referring to the trailer.
I'm sorry, Conductor. It's actually Alessio. He's
Alessio.
Yeah, it's Alessio. I met him in D23. I've known him for years, but he's a really good guy. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to let you know.
Oh, no, by all means. But You know what? I will play that trailer, and then I want to ask everybody in the chat before I continue. I told these two gentlemen already, if the last couple minutes of the game, if they do drop the Doomsday trailer, let us know, and we will play that trailer on this live stream. So just keep an eye out for that. But Ryan, before I continue, do you want to add anything to what OG was mentioning?
No.
Okay.
All right.
We'll continue.
All right, let's do it.
Occupies in people's lives, I think, is essential to anyone occupying this position in terms of their ability to move the company forward. That careful balance between legacy and innovation.
Is that the challenge, Josh, for you, that balance?
Well, I think I've been at the company now for 27 years. I've had the great benefit and the great honor of working with Bob for all of those years, first from a distance and now much more up close and personal. And I've watched probably the best of the best balance those two things. As Bob talks about being close to the fans and the guests, this is something that's important to me. I spend a lot of time in our beloved parks that hundreds of millions of people enjoy every year. And I see firsthand the importance of the brand, what Disney means to them, what it means to these families. And when you feel that and you understand the legacy of this place and the fact that you need to keep pushing forward and being innovative, I think I'm ready for that challenge, but I've learned from the best of the best.
You know, we sit here in the theater that Walt Disney originally built, and we're all
And
familiar
real quick,
with
Conductor.
what Walt did. This new documentary, Handcrafted, really.
Okay, real quick, and this is what bothers me. I don't have any problem with Bob Iger getting his flowers. I have no issue with that. I've been on countless videos saying Bob Iger has done a lot of great things for the Walt Disney Company. Like I said, the acquisitions shaped the company for the better, I believe, despite some issues with some stuff. I do believe those acquisitions were very important to Disney, and I think they were the right move. But I feel like there's a little bit of performance here. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it feels like Tomorrow is sort of mimicking or parroting what Bob Chapek was saying when Chapek was announced CEO. When Chapek and Bob Iger got on, I think it was CNBC, and they were interviewed when Chapek was announced, it was the same kind of thing. I've learned from the best. You know, he's a great mentor. He's this, that, and the other. It's like, I don't know. It feels, now that we've done this before, and now that we're seeing the same sort of narrative like happening again, it feels very like agenda driven. I got to be honest with you. I don't really like that. And this is why I'm kind of against this thing where you have Iger and Tomorrow. I think this interview should have been Tomorrow and Dana Walden. I feel like Iger is kind of in legacy mode, and he's almost using this announcement and this interview as a way to sort of solidify his legacy, not so much caring about what's going, like the future of the company. You know what I'm saying? Iger has a different mindset right now than the company. The Iger mindset right now is solidifying his legacy. Tomorrow and Walden are looking at the future of this company. So that's my issue with having him there, is because we kind of go off the rails a little bit and we start to sort of like do like, you know, PR for Iger's legacy. And I just don't like that. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, see, it's bad because when you look at it, this interview, what we saw in the parks the other day, where Iger had to be at the parks with Tomorrow, it's almost like Iger feels like he can't let go. Like he still wants to be in the spotlight. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you've had your time. You've had 20 years. You named Tomorrow as your successor. Let Walden take control, and you take a back seat.
I agree.
But he won't. He
No,
won't.
he
I
won't.
agree. Iger shouldn't have been in that interview. It should have been both of them. And Dana should have been the one with Josh at the park the other day.
Yes.
Agreed.
I agree, Ryan. I completely agree with you on that. And you know, it's crazy because I've had people tell me on Twitter, like, well, you know, come on, it's a passing of the torch. And I understand that. But the problem with, okay, if this was like the first time this has happened, I think you can justify some of this stuff. But we've been here before. Just 6 years ago, we went through the same thing with Bob Chapek.
Exactly, and that was a disaster.
Exactly, Ryan. I mean, how, you know, we've already gone through the long goodbyes with Bob Iger. I think everyone's just ready for the new team, and I think he's overstaying his welcome a little bit. And he's, by trying to like solidify his legacy, he's almost damaging it in a way. He should just back off and let DeMauro do his thing.
100%.
Shows just the incredible risk-taking that Walt went through. He leveraged everything. He leveraged his home to build Disneyland in a year. You're sitting next to a man who's led this company for nearly 20 years with significant risk-taking, billions of dollars in acquisitions for Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilms, 21st Century Fox. And as you sit here, the new CEO, I'm curious what your appetite is for risk-taking and how do you meet the moment?
First, you're reminding me that I'm sitting next to Bob Iger, one of the best CEOs of all time. It's a bit intimidating.
Okay, so I'm going to say...
I mean, come on, right? Is it ridiculous? I mean, the guy works with him on a daily basis.
And even DeMauro said it himself. It's intimidating. It's like, then why is Iger even there?
Well, I know. And it's crazy. This DeMauro has been with the company for a long time. He's been high on that corporate ladder for a long time. For him to sit in this interview and say, you know what, I'm nervous around this guy. I'm sitting in front of Bob Iger like he's one of us. Like he's meeting him for the first time. I don't know, man. I just feel it feels so crafted to like bolster Bob Iger. And it's kind of annoying, man. I don't know.
It is. Even James All Day TV says, I don't trust that Iger's leaving this time. So we might have him a third time. Wouldn't that be the
man? It's like the Wolf of Wall Street. You know, ever see that Wolf of Wall? Ever see that movie?
Yes, of course I have.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio gets up there and he's like, I'm not freaking leaving. I'm not freaking leaving.
Oh yeah,
that's Bob.
This screams that 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We know each other well. We know each other well. But Bob's a big.
Well, hold on, real quick.
I'm a big risk taker, and that's been true.
Okay, so he just said that I can't believe I'm sitting next to Bob Iger. You reminded me, and then the next thing out of his mouth is, "We know each other well." So what is it? Are you like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you know, fanboying out because I'm seeing Bob Iger? It's so crazy, or do you know him well? And it's like, you guys are close. You know, I don't know. This whole Iger, and I don't really even blame DeMauro for that stuff. I really don't. I think he was told we have to like do this legacy mode for Bob. You know what I'm saying? I don't even blame Josh for this, but it's so apparent. And so you can see through it a mile away.
Exactly.
Right.
Whole life with how I've approached growing as an individual to how I've approached the business world. And I think you see that on full display today. I mean, just several months ago, we announced a massive expansion in a new part of the world in Abu Dhabi. We did that quickly. We did it ambitiously, and we knew there was a new part of the world to serve.
And this is the first new theme park in 15 years for Disney. What's the challenge in building the first in the Middle East and in a place where you don't control everything?
Bob has for quite a long time.
Okay, so this bugs me as well. I'm going to kind of skip through the video a little bit and get to where they're on studio property, but I do have to say this. The thing that bugged me during this interview is that DeMauro kept looking over at Iger because DeMauro said so itself. It's intimidating. On top of that, seriously, on top of that, it's almost like DeMauro kept looking over to get permission to say stuff. It's like, it makes us feel uneasy.
Right.
No, it does. And that's not really, see, that's the thing. It's out of character for DeMauro because DeMauro is a confident guy. He interacts with guests all day long. He's navigated these corporate waters very well. DeMauro knows what he's doing. So I feel like he's playing it up to like help Iger, and it's just like, come on, you know, it's like we don't need any of that, you know. I don't know.
No,
Right.
it's horrible. It's really bad. It's bad showmanship. I don't personally like it. You know, it's just the point I'm getting across is you've had your time.
Yes.
Right.
Step back, let Demaro, let Walden take over. You have the security of the board. You know, your legacy is fine. You're known for the acquisitions. You're known for Galaxy's Edge. That's it. Okay. Now go away. Seriously.
Well, no, you're right. And I do like a lot of what Bob Iger has done. That's the thing. I think he's done a lot of great stuff for the Walt Disney Company. I said it in a video with you just the other day. Like, I mean, he is a Disney legend. With all the mistakes that were made, I still believe he is a Disney legend. He navigated this company through some pretty rough waters. We saw one of the most successful movie franchises of all time, the MCU. I mean, that was legendary what they did leading up to Endgame, you know? Sure. Even the Star Wars movies. I mean, honestly, those movies made a ton of money. I mean, all these acquisitions, he's done a lot of great stuff.
Exactly.
The reimagining of DCA was great in 2012. So like have the confidence of your legacy. Let your legacy speak for itself. Stop trying to like make this thing where like Demaro has to like, you know, gas him up. Like, why? It's so unnecessary. I don't know.
It is. It is. I'm going to play this last part and then we'll get to the chat because some of our followers have some questions. I definitely want to answer some of those.
The Disney lot, both men aware of the weight of this role. You joke the weight on your shoulders. Is it a little lighter today?
It is. It is. Yeah, you know, you can't just turn the switch off one day on something that you've been so involved with and it's such an important part of your life. But I'm just looking forward to quieter moments and quieter days and a little bit more, I don't know, room in my life.
But we know Bob Iger, it's not going to be too quiet, if I had to guess. And for you, conversely, is the weight a little heavier?
Yeah, the responsibility, the sense of responsibility that I have for this role and this company. Of course, I feel the weight on my shoulders. I think I should feel it, but I just feel so fortunate to be in a position to be able to be that next steward for the brand into the next 100 years.
Well, 28 years and many more to come. Congrats, Josh.
So in all reality, it was a good interview. It could have been a lot better if Iger was not there and it wouldn't have been Dana Walden. And the fact that, again, I'm going to state the obvious. He kept looking over at Iger every time David asked him a question. Right. It made us feel uneasy. Now, what OG calls the soccer mom fans that don't really dive deep in these details, but we all do. You know, me, OG, Ryan, Ricky, David, and I can go on and on. This is like really just like annoying me seeing this, and OG kind of feels the same way. Do you not?
It's basically cringe.
Oh yeah,
yes, 1000% cringe. Exactly. I mean, I feel like that interview was all about setting this narrative that like Demaro is like, oh, Bob, thank you so much for everything, Bob, Bob, and not really about the future. And I think Disney fans, investors, Hollywood, we want to hear about the future. We don't want to like harp on the last 20 years. And that's the issue. And our good friend Jay Shear, who I love, Jay Shear, shout out to him. He's talked about this, where Bob Iger's mission right now is legacy building, but Disney's mission is completely different. Disney's mission is more forward focused, and they don't align. And that's why there's an issue when you have Bob Iger in the room with this stuff, because he kind of takes it over. And I would have liked to hear more from Demaro about the future of the company and less about, you know, how great Bob Iger is. We know how great Bob Iger is. I mean, no one's, you know, he's done a lot of great stuff. I don't need to be sold that again. So.
Exactly. We want to know what's next.
Exactly.
Thank you, Ron. 100%.
because Ryan, you've probably heard it. I know has heard it multiple times. When you go to the parks, I consider us investors. I don't consider us consumers. I don't consider us, I do consider us citizens of Disney. I do consider that point, but we are more investors than anything. So that's
exactly
I want to pivot to, because that's what I kind of feel. But let's get to some comments here. We got James All Day TV says Iger is Jordan Belford. Yeah, he kind of is. We got Brian 8928. He mentioned he ain't leaving. He's gonna die being the CEO, and his ghost is gonna come back to service. So is he gonna be the 1001 ghost in Haunted Mansion, just kind of looking over, or what? And
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either, because that would be so bad. We got Cal Waves in the house. Shout out to Cal Waves. He mentioned Netflix is making a new dinosaur documentary film. It is popular. Do you think it will give Disney confidence to do something new with dinosaurs? I don't know how I feel, because the dinosaur market kind of belongs to Universal and Jurassic Park, aka Jurassic World. I don't think Disney's gonna dab in that anymore.
Yeah, I agree, especially since they just closed Dinosaur.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think Disney's gonna dab in that. Sorry to say it. We got John in the house. He mentioned, well, maybe I think it would be in the form of a secondary plot, or serve as the background of a TV episode or scene in a movie. More than possible. James All Day TV says Bob Iger's legacy was destroying Walt's legacy. He said Walt should not be reverted? Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't agree with that either. Like, I think Bob Iger did a lot of good, like OG was mentioning, but he did some stuff I don't like at all. Like, for example, when Chapek came in, Iger never really left, and I've said it time and time again. He played the puppet master, and every time
he probably was told about COVID.
Oh yeah, and Chapek got dealt a bad hand. He got thrown in the mix right before COVID. COVID screwed up a lot of things for the industry and the parks. But the one thing I will say is Iger is stuck around, and he meddled in things he shouldn't be doing. And when
he made Chapek the scapegoat for it all.
Exactly. So when things went down, Chapek was to blame, and no one knew Iger making the call. So that was something.
And Iger fixed a lot of it, just not everything. Like, he could have brought stuff back that he didn't.
No, he did not. And we got John Bradford in the house. He says Bob Iger is acting like a former student who couldn't stop hanging around school after graduating.
Yeah. No, 100%, John. And I appreciate John. Big shout out to John Bradford. He's been a friend of the channel for a really, really long time. So good to see you, John, as always. But no, you're right. And it's just, it's kind of a shame that Bob is acting this way, or feeling the need to do this, because like I said before, his legacy is not terrible, No. And I mean, look, it's not perfect, but neither was Michael Eisner's.
Exactly.
No. I mean, I don't know why there's like this big push from him to cram it down everyone's throat, when you don't need to do that. Back off, let Tomorrow do his thing, and you will be seen as a good CEO. But the more you try to convince, the worse it's making you look,
No, absolutely. So I'm going to get the two more comments before we play the David video from Fresh Baked. And shout out to Fresh Baked for always being boots on the ground at Disney and other parks, but mainly Disney as his home base. No, absolutely. We got Nathan 7478. He mentions that's just a fluff interview with the boss. Didn't expect anything hard hitting from ABC News, owned by Disney.
I agree.
Yes, exactly.
So fluff piece.
So what he's saying is you got to get DeMario on a Conductor Sunday.
Oh, dude, I would love it. Dude, I would love that. Are you kidding me?
Klaus would probably do it.
He probably would. He probably would. Remy D. Oh, go ahead, OG.
No, I was saying, Conductor, make your moves, man. Get him on the show.
Yeah, hey, I'll reach out. I have no problem. Hey, special access. We got Remy D in the house. Always great to see Remy D. He says, I just learned that Walt was never the CEO of Disney.
Right.
He
was the founder. Yeah, he was not he was technically not a CEO. No.
Exactly.
And
I
then
think
we
the
got
first CEO was maybe Roy.
Yes, I think Roy's brother was the first CEO. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think after him was after Roy was Card Walker, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, actually.
And then Ron Miller, I think. I could be wrong, but something like that. But yeah.
And we got Andrew in the house. He mentions tomorrow is, what does that say? OGNMG to destroy Disney and will be like the CEO of Warner Brothers, sell everything piece by piece. Also, in a few years, Disney will go. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't
agree with that.
I think personally, Andrew, because I want to address that, is I think out of the choices we had, I think Disney made the best choice they could by putting DeMauro as the CEO, putting Dana Walden as the president of the Walt Disney Company, where she can focus on the studio side that desperately needs help, and the parks can continue to thrive. But one thing I will state, and OG has made this very clear, and I love this, Disney for now and forever has always been a studio company first, a theme park second. So
exactly.
And the studio need exactly. Yes. And the studio aspect of the company desperately needs help. And DeMauro does not have that expertise. That's why Dana Walden got promoted to where she's at.
Yes. And for everybody at home that, because not everyone watches videos on my channel or, so just to kind of reiterate why I believe that the studio is the heartbeat of the whole company, Disney only does IP stuff. Let's be honest. Now more than ever, Disney depends and relies on that studio and the output from that studio. We're not making Big Thunder Mountains anymore. We're not making Space Mountains anymore. We're not making Haunted Mansions anymore. They only build stuff based on the IP from the studio. Sure. It's a studio, and the studio is literally like the heartbeat of all of it. So the studio creates all the IP, and that IP goes into the theme parks, into the cruise lines, into the gaming, into the streaming service, into the theaters, onto TV. It fuels everything. It's a Hollywood studio. Disney is not a Cedar Fair. It is not a theme park company. Yeah.
And
the studio.
As
Go ahead,
I
Ryan.
always tell my mom, DeMauro's the parks guy for a reason. He doesn't have the Hollywood experience that Dana does.
No.
Right.
And that's something we were all fearing, actually, before I play this video. That's the major thing we were all fearing, is that they were going to have DeMauro running both sides of the company, and we all feared that he didn't have the experience to run the studio side, which is basically fractured right now, and it needs help. And I'm glad they went the way they did. So
yeah, I figured they would do that route. And name a president too.
Sure. No, absolutely. All right, Ryan. So this is David's latest video, or one of his latest videos from Disneyland. This is where your expertise is going to come and play here. At any point, if you see something like a marking that he might show on the ground, and you want to
what those pink ones mean.
Oh yeah, let's hit the ground running, Ryan.
Please go ahead.
Almost positive that those are for those are meant for pavement that's getting removed.
Okay. So do you think that there can be underground conduit? That's why they're going to remove that. So cut into
probably.
Okay.
Because of that green box right there.
Okay. So this green box right here.
That's probably like wires and stuff in that under that.
Okay, gotcha.
Makes
That's
sense.
probably why all that stuff behind all those two rides in DCA are closed.
Yeah, so they just reopened just the other day, but I can tell you this, as they build Coco, those two attractions or multiple attractions in that area will go down and up throughout the year. I can almost be certain of that, but
I would not be surprised either.
no, absolutely. So, gentlemen, again, same rules apply. You want me to pause it, stop it, discuss, let me know.
The Disneyland Resort is not what we thought. There's fascinating new information that changes how we perceive this entire project and perhaps even Disneyland Forward. This could be Disneyland Forward. And we're going to tell you everything right after we check in on Rise of the Resistance.
Hey, you're not authorized. Wait, to go to the president.
Because we have a new development here as well. Scrim and scaffold up in front of Rise. We were here last week. The walls were up. And we were kind of like, were they really going to be doing stuff outside, out in the queue space? And sure enough, they are. There's a scrim and scaffold up. That's around that turret thing that separates the standby queue from the lightning lane queue. So there is definitely a refurb of some kind, paint and polish most likely happening outside in the queue space. We're going to take a trip in and see if we can't spot anything. What I did find actually here was the smell of paint. My guess is that it's the rails, along the queue, although they do look quite a bit like they did before this. So I'm not sure I don't know what else they could be repainting other than those sort of black wavy sections in between the two posts that define the queue. I did, though, we got some before footage that shows that a lot of those rail sections were quite worn and chipped. And if you compare that to the B-roll that we just shot or showed you here, that does look to perhaps have been repainted. So signs of paint and polish happening in the queue. We did find another access denied sign that is entering the cave as you make that right turn into the interior queue. Plus, these two scrims have been put up in those little window-like opportunities in the cave where you guys can look into or out of if you're in the caves. But they've got scrims up, which suggest that there is something happening, some sort of refurb happening inside the caves as well. And believe it or not, that's like literally the only thing that's happening right now at Disneyland other than this Galactic Grill project. We saw that they had taken down the scrim and scaffold. There was paint happening there. They're redoing the paint job, the new color scheme. But that scrim and scaffold is down. But up now are these construction walls outside Galactic Grill. So
I just want to clarify something on this because we've all talked about it. That I feel a passion of just taking a bulldozer to this land and starting over. But the fact that they are, putting construction walls up and paint and polish tells me right now as we sit here today that they have no intentions at this point or in the near future to bulldoze this land if they keep doing little minor touches here and there.
I completely agree with you, Conductor. You're absolutely correct. I mean, this land is not going anywhere for at least a few years, because right now the focus for Disney for this resort, Disneyland Resort, is DCA.
Yeah,
we got two of. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
Get a new Tomorrowland in 2028 is when that gets announced.
I hope so. That would be so not this D23, but like the following one.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect for this D23, especially with Damar now as CEO. He may want to go big, but who knows?
Well, it's tough, right? Because it's kind of a weird year for D23 because they announced everything under the sun last time.
Exactly.
So, you already have stuff in the pipeline. And now how do you announce more on top of that? But then you're right. He's CEO. He's going to want to go big. So it's kind of a predicament.
Maybe we'll get some surprises that we didn't even see coming.
Yeah, I hope so.
I would honestly hope so, Ryan. And you make a valid point. Yeah. My question to add on top of what you said was, who's going to come on stage and get the crowd hyped up? because now
Michael
that
Moriarty.
Michael. Okay. Hey, as long as I'm sitting in that Honda Center and I can be excited, I'm fine. If I get bored in the first 5 minutes, then we have issues.
Now,
remind me which park he's in charge of.
Wasn't it Hong Kong? Let me check real quick. I thought it was Hong Kong. 1 second. Michael Moriarty, right?
Yeah.
Give me 1 sec, brother.
No, you're good. I'm gonna play the video until David gets to the outer streets. Okay. I'm just gonna put it on mute. So,
okay, and actually, I do have it here. It says Michael is the executive vice president and chief financial officer for Disney Experiences, overseeing financial strategy for theme parks, resorts, cruise lines, consumer products. He was appointed in October. Here it is. He previously served as president and managing director of Hong Kong Disneyland Resort.
That's what I thought. I knew, and he produced some good things for Hong Kong.
He did. Yeah. He honestly did, and I was actually excited when that announcement was made about him coming over, because when you look at the international parks, they're breathtaking. Like, I mean, my God, it's like walking into museum, high-end quality, just everything. Like, every square inch is just beautiful. Yeah. So I'm glad he's going to take the reins and really kind of make the Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney Resort priority. Because I've said it to OG many times before. I said it's great, to build new stuff for the international parks and the cruise lines. But what I have said is that the domestic parks, they need some love too. It can't just be all about the cruise lines and the international parks. Now, to be fair, we got a lot of announcements. A lot of things are happening at Walt Disney World. No one can deny that.
Exactly.
A lot of
I can't believe how fast the steel went up for the Encanto attraction.
See, I want to pick your brain about that, Ryan. But before I do, I want to give a big shout out to Hidden Geek Village, always a loyal supporter of Theme Park Conductor and Orange Go 55. Thank you so very much for the super chat for $10. He says, love the consistency. I don't know how you guys do it. I saw a post on IG predicting a 5th gate in Orlando. What would you like to see in the 5th gate? Just wondering. Well, OG, let's talk about that for a brief second, because I feel that in Geek Village, since he gave us a super chat, we should answer that. What do you think should go in the 5th gate out there?
Yeah, here's my thing, Hidden Geek, and I appreciate you, man. We were talking on Instagram the other day, and he's a really great dude. But here's my thing about a 5th gate. I don't think they should do a 5th gate, at least not yet. And I'll tell you why. Walt Disney World is already like almost a 2-week experience. I mean,
agree.
Right? But between the 4 parks and everything else, it's a lot to do. Yeah. And people right, exactly. And people only have so much PTO and so much money to spend. You get to a point that you start cannibalizing your own stuff if you build another gate, Yeah. But go ahead, Ryan, if you want to elaborate on that.
Honestly, what would the theme even be? You're not going to build another castle park.
No, you're not. And it's kind of hard to do something like that, because then it's like, you want to entice people to come to your park or the new park. And it's kind of like, what do you do? At least for us at Disneyland, and I know OG's going to get excited. That's why he's drinking his coffee.
That's why.
Or his tea. But our 3rd gate, we are all hoping is going to be Westcott. So we have something, to look forward to.
I would not be surprised if maybe that's one of the surprises at D23 in August.
So my whole thing is it's a conflicting thing, Ryan. And don't get me wrong, I would love to see something like that. My whole thing is they probably will not announce anything for at least Disneyland, unfortunately, until Coco's done, the 2 Avengers attractions are done, the Eastern Gateway is done, and then they're starting to work on Avatar. Once they have all the other projects done and they're starting to work on Avatar, then I kind of feel that 2028
Speaking of
D23
Avatar,
go
um,
ahead.
OG, I'm really concerned about what Mondo said.
Yes, yeah. Mondo on Twitter was saying, you know, he's hearing that it's not really locked in, right? Like there's a some kind of question marks about the project.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it has to do with James Cameron.
That's a huge possibility. That is a huge possibility. Now the other day though, I think it was yesterday or the day before, our friend Giant Peter on Twitter was saying that Hollow Gelato, did they have that D23 DCA event?
Yes, they did. And actually, you know, to elaborate on that, OG,
Go ahead.
George did call me today, or I
Okay.
actually called him and we talked about it. And him and his wife Abigail were sitting in where they were holding it, and they officially confirmed that it is going in the Hollywood backlot. That is 100% lock according to Imagineering. That is what they told everybody at that D23 event.
Why didn't they post it on the Disney Parks blog?
They should have. I couldn't find it anywhere. That was the only thing I saw was Peter tweeted it. That's all I saw.
Especially because what would fit better there is Zootopia, like George says.
I see that this is something that's conflicting as well, because, you know, OG has brought it up, and it's a valid point that Disney said that it's going to go in this land. Now, I agree with you, Ryan. I personally would like to see Avatar go in the Simba parking lot, because one of the things that I have my argument about is they wouldn't have to tear down buildings and all that. All they would have to do is corn off a section of the parking lot, rip up the asphalt, and start running conduit and start building the foundation.
Exactly. Like what they're doing with the Monsters, Inc.
Exactly. But again, Disney has already confirmed it's going to go in the Hollywood backlot. And the problem is they have it almost step by step, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're waiting for the Avengers attractions, both of them, to get to a point where they're almost open.
I suspect they'll start by the end of the year and tear out all that stuff.
Well, from what I've heard, Ryan, they are looking at October.
That's what I was thinking.
So
because October 1st is the start of the new fiscal year for Disney.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
I'll be very curious to see if Oogie Boogie Bash moves to Disneyland.
It might,
because they'll probably have already broken ground on the Coco attraction, and maybe even Steel will be up for it all by then.
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting that they're really locked in with the Hollywood Land thing. Now, here's the thing. I don't disagree with you fellas. I do think Zootopia, I would take all of Hollywood Land out and put Zootopia there. Replace the whole thing. That's what I would
do. It would make more sense.
It would. I think, though, my stance on it now is that is something Disney should have decided years ago. Unfortunately,
I agree.
We're stuck with it now. You know, they've already made that decision for it to be Avatar for whatever reason. And there could be a reason that we're not even really sure of. Like I said,
yes, the reason is they're going to rename Disney California Adventure to Disney Cinematic Adventure and put Zootopia and Moana and a bunch of others in the Simba parking lot.
You're probably not too far off, Ryan. Yeah, I'm sure
maybe they dropped that news at this year's D23.
Yeah.
Or 28.
Yeah. I mean, Zootopia is going to come to DCA. I mean, it's not going to go.
They already have the characters there.
Yeah, exactly. And those meet and greets are usually beta tests to see if certain IP works in certain areas. And they obviously work there. And Zootopia just crossed, I think it was 1.8 billion worldwide today.
They did.
I will be very curious to see where in Disney World it would go. Because it could easily fit in, well, maybe not Animal Kingdom, considering how poorly the show's doing. But maybe maybe Hollywood Studios
Yeah, Hollywood.
replacing the Indiana Jones stunt show, where
Yeah.
where that guy got injured.
Yes, that would be a good spot for it. I know Joe Rohde does not want it in Animal Kingdom, and he's
Yeah.
still involved with the company. I think they will respect him on that.
I agree, since he is a Disney legend.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, real quick, our friend Rudio, if you can pull up Rudio's comment, real quick, Conductor. This is like in real time here. Super Bowl. Disney just proved once again how cheap they are by not airing a Toy Story 5 trailer during the Super Bowl. Come on.
And Rudio, I want to ask you, did they debut the Doomsday trailer? If they did not, please comment down below, because that is, again, another slap in the face or reversal that they didn't clarify, because they even mentioned, not Disney themselves, but someone mentioned, and then it just went viral. Yeah, I didn't think so. They didn't. So
Nope.
that's kind of disappointing. They didn't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The commercials this year, there was one, which I know you fellas probably don't know much about it, but like it was a State Farm commercial. I was looking forward to that one because Cat's Eye, it's a group that I like. They were in that commercial.
I like that group too. I have Gnarly on my phone.
They're great. I love Cat's Eye.
Exactly. They should have had them sing Gnarly.
Thank you. Why they were background dancers. It was like just a waste.
And
go ahead, Ryan.
They should be a halftime show eventually.
Oh, yes. Yes.
George would agree too.
Yeah, that group is really coming up. They're blowing up big.
Is it that group 17?
Yeah, they're a boy band, right?
I think they'll probably eventually get one.
No, absolutely.
BTS should have gotten one already.
I mean, BTS is huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're massive. Absolutely massive.
And they have that tour about to start in their comeback from their required military stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan knows quite a bit of K-pop stuff, huh?
Hey.
It's one of my favorite genres. I also can't get Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters out of my head.
Yeah, dude, that's a banger. That is a banger. Absolutely. Okay, let me ask you a question before we move on. I'm so sorry, Conductor. We're going off on a tangent here.
No,
real quick for Blackpink. Who's your bias?
Ooh.
Our boy Rudio, his bias is Lisa. My bias is Jenny. I've always been a Jenny guy.
Lisa.
You're Lisa? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All
right, Conductor. You can go ahead and let's go.
Catella Avenue, right outside the Desert Palms Hotel, where we have seen more of that pink paint. The pink paint is coming almost all the way down to the corner.
All that is going to get removed and probably become part of the theme park.
Okay.
If I had to guess, because I'm almost positive those green things have some sort of utilities under them.
So they're probably, Ryan, what they're going to do is they're going to rip up the street. They're going to access underground conduit that's tapped into these green little pipes sticking out of the ground here.
Yeah.
That they're further going to access to, power the Coco attraction and other facilities backstage. That's probably what these pink markings are. I
agree.
If I had to guess.
Of Catella and Harbor Boulevard. So this is a very extensive project that we've been watching. As we, keep going forward, we've been seeing a lot of paint, a lot of activity here. They're getting ready for something. This is not that, by the way. These meridians that we're walking by, that's most likely for Run Disney. Taking a quick look here behind the gate, behind Radiator Springs Racers, lots of material back there. They're still working on whatever that is.
Now stick around, because I think
I noticed
there's a possibility.
I'm sure they'll be using that for something.
Yes, and then to further clarify what David just showed us backstage, George also mentioned that during that panel, the Imagineers told everybody in the crowd they have already started building the foundation for Coco. It has started. So
I don't know. I don't know when that happened.
I don't either. So I'm wondering.
That was fast, especially because they haven't demolished anything back there.
Exactly. And so I'm kind of wondering if they're trying to be vague and they don't want to give too much out. But I think from those 3 buildings literally behind Emotional Whirlwind and the section of the Incredicoaster, I think obviously that's where Coco's gonna sit.
Yeah.
But to access, underground conduit, kind of where the load station section portion is, and actually better yet behind Pixar or Toy Story Mania, right there is where they're ripping stuff up to access underground conduit. So
I'm wondering if parades are going to be no longer happening at
questionable,
because
I'm wondering that too.
That parade building, it sounds like it's really small compared to the one at Disney World.
No, 100%. So Mark McHugh, always great to see Mark in the chats. We are a few years away from another US trip, but we are hoping that a bunch of new stuff will be done when we go next. Mark, I completely agree with you, and I would say actually the best time to come out here, and I know it's crazy because we're going to have the Olympics in 2028, but I would shoot for 2028.
And that's when I'm going to try and come out. Even if I do come for D23, I will probably try and come again in 28.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes, because at that point we'll have the 2 Avengers attractions
and the Fast and Furious coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that will be open.
That was sick, and I'm a big Fast and Furious fan. So
very cool. And then we're also going to have the Coco attraction. Maybe even OG. What would you think? Would you think that the Eastern Gateway would be open by that time?
I would think it will be, because it will at least take them the rest of this year and all of next year to build that huge parking structure.
Yeah. By 2028, it should be up, because Pixar Pals, it took about 18 months. So I'm guessing this will take about the same.
And I've watched David's videos since the Knothole Gang.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Ian. Remember Ian?
I remember Ian.
Yeah, dude. I used to love those when him and Ian used to be on the parking structure watching the Galaxy's Edge construction.
Mm-hmm.
That was sick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Dave has been part of this community, doing this for a really long time. So he's a veteran for sure. And I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great guy too. We've hung out with him a few times at the parks. He's really nice.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable, and he's kind of like our friend Bricky. They're kind of molded the same way, but obviously 2 different, thought opinions about the same thing, which is great, because when we're seeing this type of activity at the parks, where it's going to be future, attractions, future, development for the parks, it's always great to have multiple opinions, multiple, thought processes, so you can kind of take all that and then evaluate and then come up with your own, fact and own opinion about what you're seeing in the park. So that's a great thing as well.
If you can bring up, why Rudy, I was absolutely right. Watching those weekly parking structure Galaxy's Edge construction updates proved we're all sickos. Absolutely, man.
Absolutely. In the greatest way.
Exactly.
That's
why we nerd out.
Right, exactly.
There you go. We're not what would you call ourselves, OG? We're not the soccer moms. We got to come up with like a name for all of us nerds, and it can't be theme park nerds. It's got to be a unique.
Yeah, it can't
name.
be.
No.
Theme park conductor.
Well, and that's what I love about this, right? Because it's like we come together as a little nerdy community, and we can all try to figure this stuff out together and speculate. That's what makes this stuff fun, right? And even like with Star Wars, I mean, I remember like the lead up to like the sequel trilogy, like a lot of the fun factor of that whole thing was like speculating what's going to happen, right?
Exactly. And my sister was wondering why was that all of the trailer we got for when in the halftime show. Like, are they going to go to Hoth?
Oh, you mean for the Mando and Grogu?
Yeah.
Well,
Because it was
go ahead.
interesting, especially
Go
with
ahead,
the
'cause-
tauntauns. It makes me wonder.
Well, while you
Yes.
guys are talking about it, I'm actually gonna find the video, so I'm just gonna go off screen for a second. So continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a possibility. It was an interesting trailer. It was almost like an homage. I think they were trying to. Yeah, Alessio, we are talking about it now. About the Mando and Grogu trailer. I think they were trying to pay homage. I don't know if you remember, Ryan. Years and years ago, there was a Budweiser commercial with the Clydesdale horses.
Yes, I remember that.
Remember that? I think this
Yeah.
Mando and Grogu trailer was like an homage to that, but they were using tauntauns.
Yeah. So that's why it was confusing.
Okay.
Yes, but I think you're right.
Sam Elliott was interesting. Like, is he going to be voicing a character?
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I'm curious about that. Alessio said yes, it was an homage to Bud Light and Budweiser. Okay. Yeah, it felt like it. It was clever. I mean, I don't think that approach to this is gonna. I don't think all fans are gonna love that. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't. It didn't blow my mind, but
Sure.
it was interesting that they kind of thought outside the box with that, because I've never seen Star Wars do something like that, to be honest with you.
No,
I haven't either.
No, I haven't. But here we go, gentlemen. Here is the trailer, the vague trailer of The Mandalorian Grogu.
Sometimes we choose our path. Other times the path chooses us. Through it all, we keep pushing forward, driven by a deeper purpose, guided by an unseen force. The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break. This is the way.
Okay. I 100% see where you're coming from, Ryan. This does scream Hoth in a way, but that as much as I appreciate them, putting this out there, I wish there was a little more detail, especially since the movie's so close to opening. I kind of wish there would have been a couple scenes from the movie or something. This is like extremely vague.
I agree. I would have liked to have seen Zeb from Rebels.
I think that I think this would have been fine, like maybe last year.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, but the movie comes out in a few months. Like I think fans were looking for a little bit more.
I think it will make millions.
Oh, I think it'll do well. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it'll do well. You have Grogu in it. I mean, everyone.
Exactly right.
Well, yeah, I
what
mean,
kid doesn't love Grogu?
Yeah, I mean, grandma, soccer moms, everyone loves Grogu.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. This is for both of you gentlemen. I'm OG. I'm going to start with you.
Sure.
Because Lucasfilm is going through a massive transformation. Kathleen Kennedy is leaving or has left Lucasfilm. This Mandalorian Grogu, is this one of the last projects she was involved with? Let me ask you that first of all.
Oh yeah, she was definitely involved in this. 100% involved in this. Yeah. And we're not going to see there's a delay. There is an absolute delay when it comes to movie production stuff, right? So when you have new leadership come in, you're really not going to see the fruit of that new leadership probably for 3 or 4 years.
Oh, sure.
Because it takes a while for these films to get produced and then released. So really anything that we see from Star Wars for the next like 2 or 3 years is absolutely Kathleen Kennedy still, right?
So the second question I have for you is, because both of you kind of feel that this movie is going to do well in the box office.
I do.
Is it going to be a positive for Kathleen Kennedy, or is what she's done with Lucasfilm too damaging and too negative, where even if this movie does well, it's still not going to change her image, how fans see her?
It's tough, man, because the thing is like she's kind of like she's kind of in a bad spot. And what I mean by that is that this franchise is very much tied to Filoni and Favreau.
Sure.
Right? But Kathleen was running Lucasfilm. So if it does poorly, it's going to fall on her, right?
Yeah.
If it does well, though, fans might say, well, yeah, but it was mostly Favreau and Filoni. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of like she can't really win either way, almost in a weird way. But overall, to answer your question, not to muddy the water too much, I do believe if this is a huge hit, let's just say the movie gets released and fans love it, it makes over $1 billion. You can't argue with success. So it will likely be a feather in her cap for sure. But yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think it'll make money because you have Grogu in it and everyone's going to want to see it because of him probably. But I don't know how the fans are going to like the movie itself. Star Wars fans are really particular, man.
They are.
And yeah, I mean, it could be a divisive film. Who knows? So it's a roll of the dice. Yeah. We'll see.
100%. Ryan, I want to ask you the same two questions. What do you think? Do you think if the Mandalorian and Grogu movie does very well in the box office, is it going to change fans' opinion about Kathleen Kennedy since she was involved in this movie? Or do you think the career she's had at Lucasfilm, recently, not when she started, but recently, with the whole, issue with The Last Jedi and how she went on social media and bashed fans and really kind of just did some questionable things. Do you think if this movie does well, it's going to change fans' opinions? Or do you think her negativity at the company is just too much to overlook?
I mean, she overstayed her welcome, but at the same time, if this movie does well, it's more so Dave Filoni and Favreau's series.
Yeah.
So,
sure. No,
it will be interesting.
No,
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because it's like, yeah, she runs the studio, but at the same time, this is like Ryan was saying, this is Favreau and Filoni's baby, right?
Absolutely.
So it can kind of, it kind of just depends. But I'm just excited that we got new leadership. I mean, I think it was time, and I'm ready for it. Yeah, I'm time for a change.
It needed to happen because the way I see it is we have all this shakeup happening, and it's not a coincidence either. It really isn't. We got the news, literally 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops before Josh was named CEO. So there was a lot of moving parts, a lot of play happening behind the scenes before things became public. We're seeing the original trilogy characters finally being introduced to Galaxy's Edge, which people, especially fans, have wanted from the very beginning. And now we're starting to get it. Then we're seeing on the screen right now David from Fresh Bake talking about, Coco and future attractions and whatnot. So it's a bright future for the company, I have to say, but I do have my doubts. Josh has a lot to prove, I think. He's done very well as the parks chairman. I'm not going to deny that. But now in the new role where he kind of has to, worry a lot more about everything else and not just the parks, I do have my questions about it. And I wouldn't be lying to you if I didn't have concerns.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think that Josh and Dana have the chops to do amazing things, but we'll kind of see how it goes once they get in there, Now, John is saying, did Disney buy Disneyland Drive? No, they did not. They bought Magic Way. That Magic Way is the road that's kind of in between Disneyland Hotel and the Pixar and Pals parking structure, that little street.
Yes.
It's like right there. So if you go down Magic Way, if you went right, it's Pixar. If you went left, it's like Disneyland parking, Disneyland Hotel and downtown Disney parking. That little road is what Disney bought. They couldn't secure Disneyland Drive. They were getting a ton of shit even for Magic Way. I mean, the residents and they were getting all kinds of pushback.
Oh yeah, 100%. But see, it also makes me wonder. Eventually, they will close that off, and that Lilo and Stitch parking lot will become another expansion pad for another land based off an IP. You know, I've kind of said maybe it would be Arendelle, but I know how me and OG kind of feel. It would be actually better if they put in the Spaghetti Bowl area of, you know, Autopia, the old People Mover tracks, the monorail tracks, in that area, because adjacent to that you got the lagoon, you got the Matterhorn bobsled, and that mountain kind of ties into the Norwegian theming of Arendelle. So that would be a perfect spot, but will they actually do it? Who knows? And we got Gain Life in the house.
Yes.
Great to see her.
Absolutely.
But you know, it's optimistic. We can only take day by day. We can only, you know, see what we can see. My whole thing is, I think it was time to have someone in the position Josh is going to be in that is someone other than a studios guy running the company.
I agree.
It's tough, like, right? Because Josh, we haven't really had a theme park guy in there. I mean, people say Bob Chapek was a theme park guy, but even he really wasn't, like, fully. Like, that was the role that he had at the end, you know, before he got promoted. But he was actually, like, even kind of studio, because it was the direct to consumer, like the Walt Disney Home Video division initially. Yeah. And Chapek came up with that whole idea of putting those movies in the vault and then releasing them and stuff. That was all Bob Chapek, like, years ago. So Chapek kind of started with, like, the studio end, kind of with the home video. Then he got into theme park. But Josh is theme park all the way through, you know, and that's why I was really worried about him, because I'm like, okay, we got this theme park guy, but we have all this stuff going on in Hollywood right now with AI and streaming and Netflix buying Warner Brothers. We need someone in there that can really kind of navigate those waters. Thankfully, they did promote Dana, and she knows her stuff, man. I mean, she's more than capable. Yeah. So I feel much more confident with Dana in the room and helping him. We'll see. Now, I mean, hopefully Bob Iger really does, you know, step away, and he's not meddling or anything like that. You know, hopefully he really does walk away and let Dana and Josh kind of do their thing. And Gain Life here says, winding down my weekend with you all. Important news is great. Absolutely. And then she goes, she's excited for Josh to be our guy. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, Gain Life. Josh is really, really good at being that guy, right? Like, being the guy on the ground, talking to fans. Everyone loves him, right? So that's really needed for a company like Disney. I mean, you know, if you want to be CEO of Staples or Olive Garden or Pepsi, you can be a normal business dude and be behind the scenes, right? But if you want to be CEO of Disney, you have to have that front-facing personality, that charisma, and Josh has that. And honestly, the lack of that charisma and the lack of social skills is really what did Chapek in. Yeah. Because if you look at what happened after Chapek left, a lot of the ideas and his stuff didn't even get reversed. Like, they kept most of his ideas. His ideas weren't even the problem. It was just Hollywood hated the guy. They just hated him.
They didn't like him.
Yeah, because he didn't know how to talk. He didn't know how to smooth. And that's what did him in. It wasn't his ideas, because even when Bob Iger came back, they still kept most of his stuff.
To this day.
Yes.
Some of the stuff is still there.
Mm-hmm. It's still there. Exactly. It was just he didn't know how to navigate the social end of things. And Josh has that, though. He is perfect when it comes to that. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. I'm really rooting for him, Gain. I hope Josh crushes it. I really do.
Well, to answer Gain's question and to kind of add on to what you're saying, OG, when me and Bricky were walking around the other day, you know, doing B-roll shots for his channel, right. We were walking the Hollywood back lot, and a couple of cast members noticed him because Bricky is, pretty famous in our content space, and a lot of the cast members know who he is and see him all the time, love to say hello to him. So we were talking to two cast members, and we were asking about Josh Tomorrow, and they said out of all the choices Disney had to choose a CEO, a lot of the cast members felt that Josh was the perfect choice because, like OG mentioned, Josh knows how to smooth. He knows how to communicate. He knows how to be in the public area, talk to fans, talk to cast members. We just saw it this previous weekend where he was at Disneyland, again with, Dark Sidious, as I call Bob Iger, following him around. But he was communicating with, cast members, taking pictures, seeing how they're doing, talking to guests, taking pictures with them.
Right.
And that's the type of guy we want to see. And that's why a lot of the cast members, even the two we talked to, they said, yeah, a lot of us cast members are really excited to see what Josh has in store for the company, because when he ran Disney or Disneyland as the president, things were honestly in the positive because Josh cared. Josh, took that effort to meet with the cast members, talk to them, trying to see how he can improve things to make it better for them. So a lot of them are very positive about Tomorrow becoming the CEO. So I really don't get a sense that there's too much negativity coming from the cast member side. The problem is with Bob Iger, though, is, and we talked about it on OG's channel the other night, was two comparisons. Okay, if you want to have drinks with both gentlemen, right? Okay,
Yep.
Tomorrow you can go to a Chili's and hang out at Chili's and talk to the guy.
Exactly.
He's just at our level. Now Iger, on the other hand, what was the restaurant you said in Malibu?
So Bob, Tomorrow, you can get a beer at Chili's and you can feel like you're one-on-one with Tomorrow. He seems like, even though he's a millionaire, even though he's stacking more chips and Pringles, this guy's got like a ton of money. He still feels like he's on your level, right? So you can do the Chili's thing with Tomorrow. With Bob Iger, though, he's got a good personality. I think he does have charm and charisma, but it's more like high end. Like you would go to like Jeffrey's in Malibu or something with Bob Iger. Like he's very like part of, like he mingles with his tax bracket. That's the vibe I get. Like he's not going to Chili's. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, he's not going to Chili's, but Tomorrow would, and that's the difference. So Tomorrow absolutely would.
Yeah, so that's something, that I'm very looking forward to, because think about it, if you have someone that has his entire career, 27 years, started from the bottom, worked his way up, was the president of Disneyland, president of Walt Disney World, parks chairman, and now what we see today. If the cast members feel positive about it, then we all should feel positive about it. Because the reason why I bring that up is because the thing is, I would have more of a concern if cast members were coming out left and right saying, I don't know about Tomorrow. It's questionable. He did some things at the company we didn't like, and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'm not going to believe every word I hear, but I'm going to tell you this. The fact that cast members stand behind him makes me very positive.
Me too. No, that's great. That's absolutely fantastic. He has all the ingredients for a great CEO. Now absolutely. Let's see if he can come through, And I want to thank Kiki and Luca for gifting an OG55 membership. Thank you so much, Kiki and Luca. Appreciate you, man. It's always good to see Kiki and Luca in the house.
Oh, absolutely. He's absolutely amazing. I love when you have him on the channel. He's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we did I did one video with Kiki and Luca like about a year ago about his trip to Japan, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Everyone check that out. It was his trip to Tokyo Disney. And we had a really good time talking shop. So
I'll have to rewatch that. I think I watched it originally when you debuted it, but I gotta watch it again.
yeah,
Andrew says Bob Iger was a great CEO and head of Disney, but had a bad moment. Also, too many politics. See, that's the other thing, and I don't want to go on a tangent too much, but also I want to thank Kiki and Luca for gifting a theme park conductor membership. Thank you, Kiki and Luca, for being a avid supporter of Orange Grove 55 and theme park conductor. But one thing I will say about, the politics thing, Disney has no business whatsoever getting into politics. They need to focus on the studio. They need to focus on the parks and experiences. They have no reason why they should be fighting with DeSantis in Florida or the Reedy Creek situation or, fighting, the Trump administration or whatever politics there is. They have no business getting in the middle of that.
Well, Bob Iger, I don't know. I mean, Bob Iger even fought with Bernie Sanders. I mean, I was a big Bernie supporter back in 2016, and I remember the back and forth that Bob Iger and Bernie had even. So, I mean, they were taking it from both sides, and it was kind of crazy. And you're right. It's best to stay out of that stuff. But the problem is, like what we talked about earlier in the show, when Bob Iger, in that interview, he said Disney is a cultural mover. Like Disney influences culture in a big way, and it always has. And it's generational. So a lot of these politicians and these political groups, they latch on to Disney because they understand the impact Disney has on culture. So they want to get their politics inserted in it to make that impact. You know what I'm saying? But they got to remain as neutral as they possibly can. Universal does a real good job at that. I mean, they kind of stay out of it, so yeah. Kind of do that whole thing and just kind of stay out of it and just do your thing.
No, 100%. I literally could not agree more. So Ryan, I'm going to ask you, because that's why I have it paused on the screen here. So if you can further just clarify for me and OG and everybody watching, what are these markings we are currently looking at here?
Well, the orange is like before. That's for concrete. The other ones are for conduit stuff.
Okay.
And then, because that little gray thing there's conduit under that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Like that little lid or whatever?
Yeah, there's like wires and stuff.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
That actually makes sense. So again, this could be this could mean a couple things. This could be for underground conduit for maybe the Infinity Defense. This could be for the Eastern Gateway, because we do know that from original concept, the Eastern Gateway, from the original video they had, was showing that, again, I think it was going to be 8 levels or 8 stories, which it still is. But it was also going to have the bus load and unload area. It was going to have Uber and Lyft drop off and pick up. And it also was going to have security there. So it makes sense to see these type of markings. And I'm going to further play the video a little bit, again, with the volume off, but just to see where David's at. But I think he's literally kind of across the way from the what do you call it? Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's kind of walking towards the backside of
the pier.
Yeah. So
I don't know about what California laws are, but I'm sure it's like Ohio. You have to mark utilities before you dig.
You do.
Gotcha.
You do. And it's something that's the other thing I wanted to ask you, gentlemen. And then just real quick, before I continue, I actually gifted out 5 memberships to Theme Park Conductor. So 5 lucky people in the chat will begin a membership to my channel. So congratulations to those 5 people. But one thing I wanted to ask you, Ryan, is because when you look at, because you brought it up with Encanto in Animal Kingdom for, for that park, was that they're moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
And one of the things I have an issue with is, out there it seems like they can build at a much faster pace, but out here on the West Coast, we kind of seem to go like in reversal, and we love to go through that red tape and take our time before we actually break down and actually start digging in the ground. Is there a reason why you think that is? Do you think there's just, like you mentioned, there's different rules when it comes to tearing into the ground, the earth, and building stuff?
Well, I'm wondering if it's just easier to get in Disney World, they have an easier time. Maybe they have their own company that they use to go out and mark the stuff. I mean, because they do own their own construction company down in Florida, Buena Vista Construction. So I'm wondering if they have a division that's just for utilities markings.
That's a good point.
See, that's interesting to me, because when one of the things that drives me nuts, and OG knows this, one of the things that literally drives me crazy is they tore down Tortilla Joe's in downtown Disney.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just sitting there and then doing nothing.
It's doing nothing. It's like god awful, because they have like a little opening that David will sometimes film in there, and the same red bucket has stayed in the exact same spot for weeks and weeks.
They're probably waiting on permits.
Well, see, that's the thing I wanted to kind of further clarify, and I'm glad we have you on the channel, is when it comes to permits, we all know, things change. Things can, fall apart. But you would honestly think with Disney, though, filing a permit for a new establishment or a attraction, you would think they would have all their ducks in a row, like they've done this game before with the city and the county. So it makes me wonder why they felt like they needed to tear something down that quick and then let us sit there, basically abandoned and do nothing, and it looks uglier than hell.
Yeah, like I don't know what's taking them so long. Like, unless they're waiting on, like, they have supply delays.
That's something that is a possibility, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it is something that I've looked at. My whole thing is, though, I would say that would have more merit if we were still during the COVID time.
That is true.
I just don't know if that's valid, but it's possible. You're not wrong. It's very possible.
The tariffs have.
Yes.
So I don't know where they're getting supplies from, whether it's overseas or just a local lumber yard.
Yes. Well, OG, that's something I want to ask you, since Ryan brought that up. Do you think the tariffs might have something to do with Disneyland resort projects compared to their counterpart out in Florida?
It might, but I would think that they would affect both properties, though.
But see, that's something I want to dive into, because again, I don't want to sound like a war drum here, but when you look at projects in Florida, they go at a much faster pace. Out here, it's like slow-mo, and it drives me nuts.
Yes, I think Disney, when it comes to the pace of the projects, I think that's Disney spreading these construction projects out over as many fiscal quarters as possible to make it look better on the books. I think that's what it is. You're not going to see them foot dragging like this for the Abu Dhabi Disneyland, because they're not paying for that one. That one will get built in a year and a half. Watch, you'll see how fast that one goes up. But out here in California, they're paying for it, so they're gonna spread it out over multiple fiscal periods. And right now they have 2 projects, well, 3. They got the 2 Avengers rides and they got Coco. So they're not going to start digging up Pandora right now, because that's one more thing on the books, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, I wish they would.
There's probably not enough companies they can hire.
Well, that's a good point. Exactly, Ryan. Exactly.
No, 100%. And that's something that because me and OG have talked about it, Ryan. Again, thank you for being on. But you've probably seen it, me and OG talking about it, that the Eastern Gateway was announced, what, 3 years ago, and they kind of started construction and they did not.
Yeah,
Right.
it could have been done by now.
Exactly.
And now they have all that drama with the art buses, which
Yes,
wouldn't be a problem if we had the Eastern Gateway built.
exactly.
So they kind of shot themselves in the foot, unfortunately, and it sucks because we all
Right.
suffer because of it. Now, Ryan, I want to ask you as well, because OG brought up a very interesting point. The art buses, which is a nonprofit, and basically took guests from Toy Story parking lot to, where the bus load and unload area is today, currently, before it gets closed off. What would you think they're going to replace that with, to accommodate? Because they can't expect people to walk a mile, basically a mile and a quarter or a mile, to the Esplanade to go to Disneyland. They can't expect that, crossing multiple major, crazy intersections to get to the Esplanade. What do you think Disney's going to do?
I think they'll do what you guys think. They'll do what you guys said in your video the other day, because I watched it.
So you think that they might dive into possibly either maybe buying some of the buses, or maybe doing some type of like Uber, Lyft contract deal, kind of like what we see with dealerships when your car needs to be serviced. They'll come up, and
or they could do something like Disney World and have like, how Disney World has those minivan service thing.
Yes.
Maybe
yeah,
they
that's a
do something
possibility.
like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Now, real quick, Conductor, if you can bring up Gain Life's question.
Absolutely.
She says, what restaurant is going in the Tortilla Joe's footprint? The fancy steakhouse? Yes. I forgot the name of it, Gain Life, but
it's called Arthur's.
Arthur's, yes. And then another person on here, I forgot who it was, said it could be an issue with the vendor. That's a possibility. I have heard rumors, actually. Yeah, there you go. I have heard rumors that actually that steakhouse, that chain, I guess, is going through some problems right now. And that could definitely be why it's delayed. I don't know. So we'll see. I mean, personally, you know what? I mean, Universal has that new Korean barbecue place opening up at City Walk. I mean, if they're having issues with the steakhouse, go ahead and contact the Korean barbecue place that Universal is building and have them out here in Anaheim. I would love that. I think Korean barbecue would absolutely crush out here in downtown Disney. That would, that'd be amazing.
Would be phenomenal. Because Ryan, I'll tell you this firsthand: if we had a Korean barbecue place at City Walk in downtown Disney, you would find OG there doing bar chats all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conductor and I'd be out there doing our bar chats for the channel. It'd be great. No, but I don't know. I'm thinking though that's a good possibility. What Qual brought up about the vendor, it might be the restaurant is having issues and they couldn't secure it. It's frustrating though, because we kind of went through drama before when it came to the Rainforest Cafe and ESPN Zone. That was going to be a fourth hotel that got canceled. And then that whole back area turned into almost like a spirit of Halloween.
It did.
I just don't want this this area over here by Tortilla Joe's to be like a hole in the ground now for, 18 months. So
because it's not a good aesthetic, because when you go into Splitsville, and I've only been there once, but when you go in there and you go to the upstairs where the bowling alley is, and then you kind of look over, you can kind of see right into that empty lot where Tortilla Joe's once sat. And it's not good. It's not good, sight lines to see something like that. It looks ugly.
No, I agree with you. Disney seems to have issues when it comes to this stuff in downtown Disney for whatever reason. I don't see as much of this happening over at City Walk when Universal picks these vendors, but I guess we'll kind of see.
No, absolutely. So we got a comment from Haps Kagan. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. He mentioned the paint markings on the ground are utility locating. This is done to locate and identify what's
That's
below
correct.
the ground for future
And
works.
yeah, and that's what Ryan was saying. By law, they have to mark that stuff before they start digging. So
Yeah, because you don't want an explosion.
No,
Yeah.
no. The
that
only
would be
Because
bad.
that would be a very expensive.
fix.
Yeah.
The only
Yes.
explosion I want to see is the explosion over the Disneyland Cinderella Castle during fireworks. That's the only explosion I want to see.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Kiki and Luca, one of our moderators here on Theme Park Conductor. He asked, walk from Toy Story to Disneyland is natural Ozempic.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, that's a walk. And you'll get your daily dose of vitamin D too. All in one.
100%. And then Brandon, the Lego Disney fan, says, thanks for the membership. Well, please enjoy. And much more content is going to be coming to members only very soon. John asks, how often does the parking lot next to the convention center actually fill up?
So he's talking about the Toy Story lot.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I don't really know, to be honest with you, but I think it's pretty busy when I park in there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's full, but it seems pretty busy when I go in there. It doesn't seem like it's like empty by any means.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has that been your experience, Conductor? When you pull in, it seems pretty robust.
So I try to avoid the Toy Story parking lot as much as humanly possible. But I will tell you, when I have parked in there, it's busy enough where it might take a good 5 or 10 minutes to park.
Right.
So it's not being underutilized. I could promise you that. So
yeah, I think it's pretty robust. I don't know about like filling up, but it's a solid amount of cars every time I've pulled into there. So
no, 100%. Then we have Gain Life. She asks, there have been upscale places closing and or / halting new venues BC of, and then she mentioned slowing economy and too high costs to open and run. Well, I will tell you, and OG has mentioned this many times before, the rent in downtown Disney, I can only imagine, is astronomically high.
Oh yeah, it's got to be an arm and a leg. Absolutely. You know,
I was gonna say 2 arms and 1 leg, maybe even part of a head. No, I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe throw a kidney in there too. You know,
exactly. We got the 2010 countdown. I love that name. They say there's a growing and increasingly successful push by YIMBYS for zoning and permitting reform in California. Do you think that can make future Disney expansion easier?
You know, 2010 countdown. If you can clarify what YIMBYs are, I'm not familiar with that term.
Yes, please.
I don't know what that means, but clarify that. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm sorry.
Probably like oops out here, which is who you call to have the markings sprayed.
Oh, it says here, yes, in my backyard. Oh, yeah, because NIMBYs are not in my backyard. So yes, in my backyard. Okay. Go back to his comment again, Conductor, real quick. Now that we know what it, now we okay. So there's been a growing and increasingly successful push by Yes in My Backyard for zoning and permitting reform in California. Do you think that could make further Disneyland expansion easier? Oh, absolutely. If they can do that, I mean, the red tape in California is crazy. So,
it's bad.
Anything to assist with that. If the YIMBYs win, I hope they do. I hope the YIMBYs, I hope they get what they're asking for, because that would make it a whole lot easier.
Well, see, what cracks me up amongst everything else is when before, like Parkside Market and some of the shops like D-Lander and Avengers Vault, even Din Tai Fung was built, right?
Yeah.
Who how can I put this? Gavin Newsom. Okay. Gavin Newsom showed up at the Disneyland Resort, and there was a picture with concept art of Disneyland Forward and right next to Newsom was Iger and Tomorrow. So you would honestly think if Newsom is supporting this, you would think construction would ramp up a hell of a lot faster than what it's going, and literally cut right through the red tape. Literally.
Yeah. I just, yeah, I mean, hopefully they get this done. I'm not too concerned about Avengers and Coco, because those are kind of already started. But the Avatar thing does make me a little nervous, even though we did get confirmation at that anniversary thing. I think it was yesterday. We did get confirmation it is still going in the Hollywood backlot. Okay, that's cool. It's still happening. But I'm just worried about like delays, because you have James Cameron, and Ryan, you brought this up. I mean, James Cameron is a stickler for quality. I'm sure whatever he's asking is going to be very expensive for Disney. So
Exactly.
It is.
they're gonna drag their feet on it. They're gonna
I'm
drag
very
their
not
feet.
happy that it's getting squeezed into a small portion of the
No,
land.
see, that's what I don't like. And to kind of further the news from what I heard from George was that you had two Imagineers in this panel that he was at. One was from the old school Imagineers that's kind of retired, but you also have one from the new school Imagineers who actually worked. Both of them worked on the Hyperion when it was built, and they both stated that the Hyperion is going nowhere. It's going to stay exactly where it's at. But my whole thing is, and this is where I still kind of hold on to faith here, is that they're saying that now because they can't obviously divulge if they were going to do something with it. They can't divulge what they're going to do with it. So they rather just say, hey, you know, we worked on it. It's not going anywhere, but who knows? In a year from now, tomorrow might say, you know what? It's going away to make way for Avatar. Because I even told OG this. I said, if you're going to put Avatar in the Hollywood backlot, obviously it's going to have one attraction. That's a given. But a second attraction, the footprint that the Hyperion has, could be the second attraction. And I even stated that you can build the building exactly how it is, but it would be easier to tear down and rebuild. And then you can, you know, preserve the Hollywood theming on the side of the building that faces Hollywood Boulevard. So strip it off, but preserve it. And then when the building's built back to house the second Avatar attraction, then at that point you put that theming back, and it's like you never tore down the Hyperion Theater, because then you know you have the Hollywood theming. But go ahead, OG.
Well, and here's the thing too, because there is a lot of concern with the fans, the diehard fans, not the soccer moms, right?
Yeah,
diehard fans, about how is this going to blend into Hollywood. Now, I will say this: I am concerned about that, but you're going to go to Florida, Conductor, in about a month. When you go to Hollywood Studios, you're going to notice this with Galaxy's Edge. You literally, Toy Story Land is right here, and you literally go around the corner and you go under basically like a freeway underpass tunnel, and you're in Galaxy's Edge. Now, that's a Hollywood themed park. Essentially the same kind of theme as Hollywood Land. And all they did was add a freeway overpass thing, and you walk under and you're in on another planet as well. So if they did it in Florida, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think Disney's fine doing it here. Now, obviously, it's on a smaller scale here because our Hollywood Land is smaller, but essentially that's all they did. They put, I mean, Galaxy's Edge makes about as much sense in Hollywood Studios as Batu does in Hollywood Land. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you're not wrong, because we are at a smaller scale. Because when we did a video, you actually mapped it out, OG. Currently, as it sits right now, if we didn't take, you know, the footprint of the Hyperion, and there's that red bucket, by the way, still not moving. And then if we don't take the Hyperion footprint and we don't take PhilharMagic's footprint, okay, we're about 7 acres. And if you look at the version out in Animal Kingdom, it's 12 acres. So the only way to kind of justify that is either take PhilharMagic or take Hyperion, which would put us, I think we mapped it at what, 10 acres?
Yes.
So
if you got rid of the Hyperion, it'd be about 10 acres. Yeah.
Okay, so about 10 acres. So my problem is, because they, again, from what I heard from George during that panel, was they further clarified, like we just mentioned, it's definitely going in the Hollywood backlot. And it makes me concerned that you have Imagineers saying, oh, the Hyperion's going nowhere, but yet they're not doing anything in that theater publicly for guests that visit the park. So if you're not going to do anything with it and it's just going to stand there and do nothing except for host corporate events and private events that obviously people can't be part of, then what's the point of having it there?
I agree with you. And I've always felt the Hyperion is an eyesore,
It is.
and yeah, it's an eyesore. It's ugly and it's ugly with no purpose. So, I mean, at least if we had a show in there, you can be like, okay, it's ugly, but we have this great, it has a purpose. There's something in there. I get it, but there's no show. There's no rumors of a show. And that's the thing too. They didn't announce that. They said, those Imagineers said at that event the other day, yes, Hyperion is staying. But really, if it was going away, are they really going to say it's going away before Disney's ready to announce that?
No.
Probably not,
And I don't know if you can do an Avatar show.
Yeah.
It would be hard.
I think if it's incorporated into Pandora, it gets bulldozed. I think they just use that land.
They have to.
Yeah, it's a huge amount of space. It's massive.
It's a huge amount of space, and I get it. When you build a new land, not every land has to have two attractions minimum. But the way I kind of see it is, if you're going to invest into a $1 billion plus IP and incorporate it in your parks, I'm sorry, one attraction does not do it for me.
Yeah. Now, if you could bring up Qual's question about the back of it.
Absolutely.
So he says here, or he or she, I'm not sure. I don't want to assume, but curious what the back of Avatar would look like into the entrance to Disneyland Plaza and the new bridge on Harbor. I mean, probably similar to the back of Indiana Jones facing the tram load area. I mean, we have the Indiana Jones building right there facing the tram load unload area. I'm assuming that it would be something like that where they paint it green or put fake tree art on there.
Yeah.
And dress it up the best they can. I mean, we're limited for space out here, and it's not ideal. But at the end of the day, what are you going to do? No,
100%. And what bugs me about the concept art, for the Eastern Gateway, which again we haven't even gotten new updates to that yet, is the bridge. Let me see where my mouse is. Okay. Where the bridge is going to come across harbor from the Eastern Gateway and go into, the bus load and unload area. It's very close to the backside of one of the attraction buildings for Avatar, and I kind of don't like that because it really handicaps the land. Because you can't build past that. So I was actually saying, well, you could build it across harbor, but make it kind of curve where it goes more towards the monorail track behind Tomorrowland and the backstage area than it would coming towards, Monsters Inc. in that area. I rather it do that so it gives more of a footprint to Avatar to kind of, have a little more breathing room, because you have to remember, space is already going to be taken away because you have to have an access road.
Right. Now Quali here says, gee, that'd be a magical entrance. And they're referring to the Avatar building being right there when you come off of that harbor entrance. I mean, I don't disagree with you, Qual, but here's the thing. Is it magical now when you have like 2 Anaheim PD cars sitting there and you have a bus load area and a vinyl tent for security?
No.
I mean, you don't have a magical entrance now, so
No.
I don't think that building dressed up would be any worse than what we got, in my opinion.
So this is my theory. Okay, so you have the archway right here to the Hollywood backlot. It's a really nice archway. I give Disney credit for building it. It's beautiful for what it is. But then you got smoothies right here, and you got a turkey leg cart right here. what if they kind of walled this entrance off right here and kind of put more facade for like that Hollywood theming, but close it off, and then they have the exit of Avatar somewhere over here where the Hyperion's at, and where hopefully a second attraction would go, I would think.
Right.
But the entrance would be somewhere over here where the Oswald gift shop is, and the city hall. Because I've said it, that city hall building can be relocated, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And if you build an entrance, even though it's very close to the entrance gates, and I get it, it would be a congestion nightmare. I understand that. But if you built the entrance to Avatar right here, and you kind of walk in going this way, and you have like a little mini bridge that kind of takes you over the access road here, and literally drops you off right in the Avatar, that would be beautiful because that's hiding it.
Yes. I think in terms of like aesthetics and like working it in, I think that would be great. A friend of both of our channels, Vash Sky, though, was saying him and I were on Theme Park Wizards channel like a couple weeks ago, and he made a great point though with that. Disney's not going to want people to bypass all the stores on Buena Vista Street.
Yeah.
They don't want you to walk in and hang a left and bypass all that merch potential. That's a big sticking point for Disney, and that's why I think they probably won't do it. Now, it makes sense. I agree with you. It'd be kind of cool to enter through there. I just don't think they're going to want you to, because they know that's going to be a huge draw, that area, and then you'd have all those people funneling away from all the, the Clarabelle ice cream, the Eliason company. It would be kind of hurting them financially a little bit.
No, 100%. And again, we can only speculate. We got one piece of concept art. That's not really much to go on. It's extremely vague. So that's why I'm saying this D23 is not going to be as exciting as when OG and George went in 24. I think it's going to just be a lot of updates to current projects, including Avatar, Avengers, Coco, and so on and so on. I don't think we're going to get a lot of exciting announcements. Again, I'm just speaking how I see it right now. That can obviously change, and I hope it changes.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You're paying a lot of money to go to that event. I got the breakdown today of what it would cost to go, and the stress of trying to buy tickets online. So believe me, I want to get something out of it.
April.
You what?
I guess they said, the guy hinted at today that the tickets go on sale in April.
Yeah.
So that was floated around probably the first week of April.
Yeah.
So, and that would be for, if I'm not mistaken, D23 members.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So the members get first dibs, like usually they do. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what that's for. But
now Qual here says, point being, they're completely redoing the entrance to be more of an entrance, but then half-ass it with the back of a show building. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand your concern. It's just, we're tight on space here, and honestly, let's wait and see, because we don't know how they're going to dress up that building. You know what I'm saying? We don't know yet, but like I said, you have the Indiana Jones building on the other side, and I think people are fine with it. So we'll kind of see, though. I mean, I think the trade-off for me personally is kind of worth it. I loved Pandora in Animal Kingdom. To have DCA have a Pandora and Cars Land in one park is a massive win for that park.
The Avatar Land in Animal Kingdom is cool.
It's amazing. So, I mean, if we have to walk past a building to get to the security thing, I don't know. For me personally, I'm fine with that, but everyone's experience is different, and I respect you, Qual. And I a lot of people honestly see it your way. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments on my channel about that. They don't like that idea of a building being there. So
no,
they
don't.
Yeah,
and again, it's something. As Josh is becoming the CEO, I think a lot of detail on future projects might be, how can I put it, might be better aesthetically than if Iger was running the company, because Iger's the way I see Iger and even Eisner and so on, is they're a business guy first. They look at trying to, keep the company in the black, trying to, have great numbers and whatnot. And I get it. You can't always be in the red as a company. I understand that. But when you have fans, hundreds of millions of people that come to your resort to experience your experiences and to kind of, how, how can I put it? To kind of tie into their childhood, what they grew up with, and just having a wonderful vacation with their family. I kind of feel like enough is enough with duplicating attractions and lands. Enough is enough with, cutting corners and this and that. Because the New York Times article, and OG knows this, the New York Times article really exposed a lot of things that we kind of had suspicions about, but we weren't 100% sure. But now we know for sure. Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with, Iger and the board saying no to a lot of things that Imagineers came up with. And I'm sure a lot of those projects were phenomenal. But again, they kind of felt from a financial standpoint, it wouldn't be good. It's like, I get that part, but you can't say no to every single thing that Imagineering came up with. And that's what that New York Times article really kind of exposed a lot.
They did. No, that article was crazy. I think we did like 3 videos on that thing. It was wild. Now, real quick, Qual says totally not being pessimistic, just very curious on how they'd end up putting lipstick on a pig of a situation. Yeah, you're not being pessimistic at all. I think your concerns, Qual, are 1,000% valid, because that is going to be kind of weird with that big building there. I'm curious how they do handle that, though. Yeah, I'm very, very curious. But no, you're not being pessimistic. I mean, honestly, I've had a lot of questions in regards to the whole Pandora project, in terms of the monorail beam, in terms of how they're going to fit it all in. It's a very it's a mystery, to say the least. And that's why a lot of these DCA projects, it's kind of frustrating that Disney is not giving us more information, because even Coco has a lot of question marks, right? I mean, are we still going to have parades in this park? I mean, they're building this attraction right where the parade floats go in and out. It's tough, man. And it does. There's a lot of questions. I really hope Josh comes out at D23 and kind of clears a lot of this stuff up, or even drop it on a random Tuesday in like a month or something, and just do it, and just give us information that way. What brand of blue light blocking glasses are you wearing, OG? I am wearing Ray-Ban.
The one and only. I love Ray-Bans.
Yeah, Ray-Bans are great. Yeah, I usually don't wear my glasses anymore, but I'm kind of in between contacts. So my contacts should get here probably like in a couple of days. So I'm rocking the glasses until then.
Hey, John, don't worry. He looks like the modern day Clark Kent, so don't worry about it. He looks good.
Yeah, I put these on and I'm like, I'll be like, can you guess who it is? Do you recognize me? No, it's OG. It's me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But this is a great conversation. I love the engagement in the chat too. Really good stuff, man.
Oh no, 100%. And then Kiki and Luca also mentioned, John, how did you know they were blue light blocking glasses?
I don't even know if they are or not, to be honest with you. I have no idea. I have no idea. But
oh my gosh.
I don't know. They probably are.
One last thing I wanted to show you guys real quick and just get your quick perspective before we end tonight, because everybody has been absolutely amazing. Our guests have been absolutely amazing as well. But let me pull this up real quick here. I just gotta find it. Give me 1 sec.
No problem.
No problem.
And by the way, while we wait, it's been awesome having Ryan on the show with us. First time. Everyone give Ryan a big shout out. He's awesome. Friend of the channel.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to have you back on, Ryan. So this has been a phenomenal first time for you, and what a great way to kick it off.
Yeah.
But Google, okay, I mentioned this to Ryan, OG. I've also mentioned this to you. So as Dana Walden takes her position as president of the Walt Disney Company on the 18th, alongside with tomorrow becoming the CEO, it looks like she only has a 4-year contract for her president's role. Now, does that concern either one of you? And OG, I'm going to start with you, because when you look at this contract deal and then we don't hear anything about tomorrow's contract, do you think that the board shares a little bit of concern that Dana, they want to give Dana an opportunity, but they're not sure what her intentions might be?
Yeah, I mean, it could be that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she has a pretty good track record overall. I mean,
Sure.
she's done a lot of great stuff. I mean, she's had some issues here and there, you know, like with the Kamala Harris debate thing, right? There's a little bit of a scandal with that or whatever that was. But like, yeah, and John brought up exactly what I was just going to say. Where else is Dana going to go? Where are you going to go? Hollywood has been, they're consolidating like crazy. I mean, Netflix is probably going to have, are probably going to acquire Warner Brothers. We're going to go Paramount. Like, you know, like where are you going to go? So she's not going to be able to go anywhere where she's going to be like the CEO, probably, likely, you know, or so she's better off here at Disney. And she has a significant amount of power at Disney. I don't think she's going to go anywhere. I really don't. Is she going to make more money elsewhere or for a bigger studio? No, likely not.
No,
exactly. So she's kind of stuck here, you know. Dana also had 24 million reasons to say, yeah, she did.
She does. and again, it's something, because this role, it's interesting, because that's one thing I want to tap into. But before I do with you, OG, Ryan, do you kind of feel the same way about this?
Yeah, I could see eventually Moriarty ending up being the president down the road.
Okay. So you think, you think she has a positive, chance to do wonders for the company as the president for the next 4 years, where the board will feel like probably in the mid 2029 year that they feel confident about extending her contract.
Yeah, because of her Hollywood experience.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, that amount of time is pretty common for these kind of contracts.
Yeah.
It's not unusual.
No, I do find it interesting though. And OG, that's a question I wanted to ask you, was when we watched the interview with David Muir, because the video I showed was only a clip of it. There was, I think, a tad more. I could be wrong. But at one point, David Muir was saying that the president's role was a brand new position, and it's not, because they had this role. And then when Chapek came in, he got rid of that role.
Okay, this is what David meant.
Okay.
You're right. The president role has been around at Disney for a long, long time.
Sure.
Like back in the day, Michael Ovitz used to be president, and I think Bob Iger was president. So you're right. The president role has been around for a long time. It's her other title. She has two titles at Disney. She's the president and she's the chief creative officer.
That's the new role.
Yes, that's the new role. They've never had that role for the whole company before, so she's new for that. So
I just wanted further clarification on that. That's all.
Yeah, and then John Make It Rain says, I'm waiting for the next Planet of the Apes movie to come out. Yeah, those are good movies, dude. Really good
movies. I love those movies. And then Kiki and Luca also mentioned Dana needs to fix Pixar, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Marvel in the next 4 years. Well, again, it's something that we're seeing a massive transformation in leadership at Lucasfilms. And OG made an excellent point. There are already projects in the works that we might not see the new leadership's, decision making until 3 years from now, because already projects are greenlit. They're already in the works. So we can only hope Dave Filoni and the team over there really does wonders. Obviously, Dana is going to be overseeing that, so that's a positive. When it comes to Indiana Jones, I'm going to be honest with you. I think what they're going to do, because OG has mentioned this time and time again, I think they're going to go to an animated series because
I agree.
obviously they're not bringing back Harrison Ford. He's too
No.
old. And they don't have a substitute for him yet. So the only positive direction they can go with that IP is go animation for a little while.
And if they go animation, and I'm not against that, if they go animation, I want it to be high quality, like Batman the animated series quality writing and animation. I want it to be a really legit show. Don't cheap out. Yeah. And don't go like super stylized weird either. Like let's just get like a good Indiana Jones that looks like Indiana Jones.
Exactly, right?
You know, nothing weird. Like just, you know, come on. Like I said, Batman the animated series is the gold standard for that kind of thing. Or like a Gargoyles, that was a dope show. Like that, I want to see that. I kind of want to see a little bit more of like, it's for kids as well, but a little bit more of like the adults can dig it, you know?
Sure.
Also, that kind of vibe for indie. I think that'd be great.
Absolutely. Ryan, I'm going to ask you as well. Do you see them going in that direction for that character?
Yes, and I could see them using the voice of the character in the video game.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, our buddy, our good friend, Mr. Webba, who we love dearly, Mr. Webba. We love Webba.
Yeah.
But he is a gamer, and he said that game is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Have you played it yet, Ryan? Are you a gamer? Okay.
I mostly play sports games.
Okay. Cool. What Webba was saying was great.
Yeah, it seems like it because he tells me all the time when he calls me, he's like, dude, I just got in this new area, Indiana Jones on the game. I love this thing. You got to get it. You got to do it. I'm like, okay. So one of these days, I'm going to buy that game on Steam and play it. One of these days.
Absolutely.
The last question to Kiki and Luca's comment was Star Wars. OG, I'm going to start with you. What movies or what shows would you like Lucasfilm to dive into that dives into the Star Wars story that we might not have seen yet under Kathleen Kennedy's leadership?
Like what
like for example, like maybe like the Clone Wars or the Old Republic or stuff like that. What would you like to see? Here, let me pull up the comment. There you go.
Go ahead. I would like to see, honestly, I think Old Republic would be really cool. I think that I think you want to get away, for me personally, I think you'd want to get away from the Skywalker stuff just because you kind of open up a can of worms with that whole era.
Sure.
Because you're going to have fans go in there and start questioning canon inconsistencies and things like that. And I just think Star Wars needs to branch out beyond that. So like Old Republic would be really, really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing maybe like even after the sequel trilogy, like even in the future, stuff like that. I think that's the direction I want to see Star Wars going. Like tap into some new stuff. That's just me.
Absolutely. Ryan, what do you think about that?
I agree. I'd also like to see something with Dark Plagueis.
Dark Plagueis would be interesting. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if they're going to get away from the Skywalker series, even though I want an Obi-Wan season 2 so bad,
I could see that happening still anyway.
One of the original things I would like to see is Palpatine and kind of dive into his story, where he came from, how he grew up, you know, what you know, when he was a kid, how did he gain these powers that he has, and how did he work his way up to become the Emperor, even though we kind of saw it with the original trilogy. But
so like maybe wasn't his master, wasn't it Darth Plagueis?
Yeah.
Exactly what Ryan was saying. So I would like to see a show on that to kind of explain that story.
That'd be sick, dude. That'd be sick. Yeah, a Palps and Plagueis show would be cool.
Would you want it animated or live action?
I would go live action. If it's Ian McDermott, if we can still get him, you know.
Oh,
I think he would do it.
Yeah.
I think he would do it.
That man is a national treasure.
Yes,
dude.
I love him.
He's awesome.
He's great.
The last question, I know I said Star Wars was, but Marvel. Okay. So OG, I'm going to start with you, but I'm going to say my 2 cents of it. in Marvel, what I would like to see a lot more is spin-offs. And I think when we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, that was a great start. But go ahead.
Yeah, I want to see. I think the cinematic universe thing has sort of. I don't want to say it's dead, but I think they should pull back on that concept quite a bit, right?
Okay.
I don't think there's the appetite for the general public to invest that much time and money into that theatrical experience, right?
Oh, sure.
So I think you pull back on the MCU, you still do it, but like you were saying, do a lot of standalone stuff. Like I would like to see more Marvel standalone movies and maybe even like standalone trilogies and things like that.
Yeah.
I just think that the cinematic universe thing right now is a lot to ask of people because people aren't really sold on going to the theater as much as they were before. So
no, 100%. Ryan, what do you think?
I agree with both of you.
Yeah. I just want to go to the last two comments of the night. John says, no, I think they should go back to it, but go way back in time.
Like Old Republic or something like that. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, I would love to see something like a Star Wars show on the quality of like a House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Like that. I want to see that kind of stuff from Star Wars.
That would be dope. And John also says, I think people want more of the one-hit wonders again.
Yes, and that's what I'm talking about, where it's like one and dones. Like it's not connected to anything big. It's just a Marvel story. It's a singular film, and that's it. You know, if you want to do like maybe like a trilogy that stands alone, that's cool. But this whole thing where like everything's connected and like all the TV shows are connected and all that stuff, I think people are just burnt out on that.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. But everybody, thank you so much for watching this week of Conductor Sunday live stream. Again, first time ever on the show, we have Ryan, the Disney adult. Great to have him on. That was amazing. And always my favorite co-host in the world, Orange Grove 55, with his wild, wicked, lovely hairstyle that I love so much. It's amazing.
Love it.
And thank you everybody in the chat for supporting, and especially Kiki and Luca, our moderator tonight. Absolutely been phenomenal. I want to give a big shout out as well to Hin Geek Village and also Kiki and Luca for gifting not just Orange Grove 55 memberships, but also Theme Park Conductor memberships.
Yes.
And I hope the 5 people that I gifted for Theme Park Conductor memberships enjoy. Like I said, a lot more content is going to be coming to members only, so stay tuned for that. But Ryan, the Disney adult, I'm going to start with you, sir. Where can everybody find you on social media?
You can find me on YouTube, literally at Ryan, the Disney adult, and on Instagram at RC Tribe Fan 4.
Absolutely. Please go and love and support Ryan, the Disney adult, on YouTube and Instagram. Orange Grove 55, sir, always great to have you on and talk Disney and theme park nerdy news. I love it. I enjoy it. I live for it. Where can everyone find you on social media?
Yeah, Conductor, thank you for being an amazing host. As always, love doing these with you, brother. Ryan, awesome talking shop with you for the first time. We'll do a lot more shows in the future together. But yeah, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking about theme park, studio, corporate, all that good stuff. We even dip into some entertainment in general. Like I just recently did a reaction video with a good friend of ours, Tones TV, and we did a reaction to a new J. Cole song, which was really, really fun. Sometimes on OG55, we like to branch out into different stuff, you know, beyond the Disney sphere. So we do that every now and then. But yeah, you can find me here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55. You can also find me on X, Orange Grove 55, and on Instagram, Orange Grove 55. And a big shout out again to Conductor. Amazing host. Amazing.
Absolutely. And it's always a great time. And I want to remind everybody as well, Orange Grove 55 and myself, we have a series on his channel. It's called This Week in Disney News. Definitely go check that out because we do put out a video every single week, once a week. But I think, and I got to talk to you about this, I think we're going to film a couple so that way we can keep that trend up while I'm at Walt Disney World. So
Yes,
definitely stay tuned for that. Also, definitely go check out Orange Go 55 because this guy, like he mentioned, dives into all sorts of things, not just the theme parks, but he talks studios. He talks about K-pop, which he absolutely loves.
yeah.
And so much more. And he does an amazing series as well, which is his bar chats, which are world famous and on location. On
Yeah.
location.
Yeah,
So-
no, yeah, bar chats are kind of new to the channel. I started doing them a few months ago, where like we literally like sit at a bar, whether it be outside the theme parks or even in the theme parks, and we'll just nerd out. We'll have these conversations, but in a bar setting, having a few drinks and talking to a friend about whatever, Disney, Universal, whatever it is. So they're a lot of fun. Conductor has been on a couple of them already.
I have.
Yeah, they're a good time. And Ryan, you're always welcome to join me on a bar chat if you're ever down in the area. So just let me know.
Absolutely. But everybody have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay warm, or stay cool wherever you might be. And I will see you guys next week on Conductor Sunday live stream. Have a good night,
Sounds good.
everybody.
Apologize.